FLOSSTUBE, it's Lee from Creatively on Sunday 3rd of January 2021. Woohoo! Happy New Year! FLOSSTUBE number 57, and today I am filming on my table. It's a familiar area, but you're a little bit further away because I'm trying out my new cheap as chips from Kmart floor stand that I'll draw in. Anyway, so I've got it on the table, but just because I needed the table today, I got a whole heap of stuff. For my iPhone, it also has a tablet holdery thingy as well. Now you can buy these really expensive. This is mostly for me folks in New Zealand because I'm sure that in the States, etc., you can get them easily. You can buy really, really expensive ones, or you can go to Kmart and get it for $19. So sure, it might not last a million years, but it certainly was in my budget. And I did use it last week, but I was in my bedroom at Dad's, so yeah, so it's pretty cool. It swivels around, it concertina, so I've got it on the table all collapsed, goes nice height. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. So yeah, it extends to 1.36 meters, fits tablets up to 10.5 inches, additional smartphone mount, and the swivels 270 degrees. So I'm very excited about it because the things I had to do to get it set up to film was like a plastic drawer out of a plastic thing, out of a drawer unit thing, upside down, with then a crate that had scrapbooking stickers in it that I then put something flat and put my iPhone, which then often fell, and it was a weird angle, and that was all like, when I used to use my iPad, I had like a bag of flour and stuff. It was like real gangster, right? So hopefully this will be better. I am actually sweaty. The humidity, it's not been too hot, but we had like a whole heap of rain last night, and now it's warm, and I guess all the rain, actually it's currently raining. It's warm and wet, and I feel like I'm in Florida, and this natural glow is, this natural glow is just like me, really hot. What did my dad used to say? Horses sweat, men perspire, and ladies just glow. But I'm not a lady, so you know. Hot. Okay, a little bit to show you. I've ironed everything. I'm going to do basically, I guess, ultimately a whip parade, but I've had a few new starts and some updates on stuff for the last couple of weeks, because the only thing I showed you last week was my Quaker Seasons of Friendship, and I'd only done a tiny little bit. I didn't really get much stitching done at Dad's. I finished one whole motif because of course I was learning the ukulele. This finger is still not right, like my C chord finger is still a bit tingly. Alright, anyway, so a couple of new starts and essentially a work parade, and then loose plans, as in here's some shit I've got kitted that I'm probably going to start any minute now. That doesn't mean anything other than that's what I've got currently. So yeah, quick little life update. Dad's really good. We had a nice few days together. I helped stick a bit of wood for him and learn the ukulele. He did quite a bit of work outside actually. And then we tend to come in, have a very easy dinner, and then we'd watch something like The Repair Shop and maybe a quiz or something on YouTube, and then he'd go to bed, and then I'd go to bed, and then we'd get up in the morning. On Tuesday, my last day up north, we went for a little drive up the East Cape to Whanarua Bay, which is somewhere we used to go camping when we were a family, but one of Dad's sisters-in-law, so I guess sister and brother-in-law, have a piece of land up there in a little batch that I think Dad designed a million years ago, because before the rules got tougher about needing to have a freaking architect design everything, but and they built, and they're slowly over time tweaking, making improvements to the property, and so we went for a little drive up there, to visit with them, and yeah, it's about a 2.5 hour drive, very, very windy. So Dad drove up because he finds he has more energy in the morning, so he drove up, and it was sort of the longest run his car had had for a while, but it's really windy up the coast, and while I knew that, I forgot. It's been ages since I've been a passenger in a car for a long period of time, especially one that is windy. Ooh, I get car sick. I managed to hold it together, but let's just say after about an hour and a half, I wasn't very chatty, and there was a lot of, and I was hanging on to the, I don't know, the thingy, handle thing by the door, and I was just like, kept putting the air into my face, and I was just like deep breaths and focusing on the road, and but I drove back, so I was fine. So although I got to the station, I was just feeling really like, so we had lunch up there, and it's probably up there for about 3 hours or so, and then drove back, and driving back I was a bit like, wow, I'm getting tired, so we pulled over and I got an ice block, and Dad got an ice cream, and that just helped me pick up, and I think it was just north of Aporiki, so we would have had still like an hour or so to get home. I don't remember. But it was a nice little drive, and it was nice to do something it was just nice to go for a drive and go up the coast. It's so nice up there. It's just very windy in the road. Then Wednesday, I was supposed to be meeting my friend at 10:30 in Rotorua. I ended up not leaving, and I needed to leave at 10:45, and I left at 10:05. Anyway, I texted her, met up with her, so my best friend Tan. We had brunch in Rotorua. We could only really spend an hour because I had to get south. Trip south was uneventful. Well, it was, yeah, I mean, kind of uneventful in that the two events were waiting in traffic jams to get through Otaki, which is just absolutely nuts, trying to get through there. And then there was an accident apparently somewhere around Paikakariki, and I know I was sat for about 45 minutes. We were all just, 2-lane highway. We were just like all stopped, engines off, doors open. Thank goodness I went for the Lou and Foxton, otherwise she might have been a bit stressful, and just waiting until we could move. So it was a long trip home, long and hot. But I listened to tons of music, sang my little heart out, because I'm awesome in the car. My singing in the car when I'm on my own, I'm like, I could go on the stage, right? So yeah, I got home, had a day, New Year's Eve, pretty quiet day. Went and did a little bit of, did I do some shopping? Yeah, went and had a look. I bought some DMC from Lincraft, and then they didn't have all the colours. Then I went to and got some DMC from Spotlight. They both had the sale, the 122 a skein, which was kind of cool. Did some groceries, had a little nap, had a barbecue with friends, then saw the new year in. Couldn't get to sleep, so at 3:30 when I was still awake, I was able to wish my sister a happy new year because they're 3 hours behind in Brisbane. And that was it. The last couple of days I have channeled my inner introvert. It's ironic, isn't it? Inner introvert. And just had a couple of quiet, sit on my ass, stitching days. I think on New Year's Day I caught up on a whole heap of, I guess, FLOSSTUBE, whip parades and 2020 wrap-ups and stuff like that. And then yesterday I watched all of the second half of the season, or 6B or whatever it is, of Vikings. So I'm finished Vikings. It was intense. I think they did a great job. I loved how they wrapped it up. Other shows like Game of Thrones, etc. could have taken a bit of a leaf out of their book, but I think they did a really good resolution. Yeah, and I basically, when I show you a new start, I did quite a bit of stitching during Vikings. I think it was about, it was all day, I watched it all day. Insane, right? I mean, I stopped here and there and did little things, like I stopped and did a load of laundry, and then I stopped and did put the dishwasher on, and then I stopped and whatever, but I really stitched all day. So I've got a lot to show you, so I should really crack on. I bought one purchase, and that's one of my new starts. So I did buy the, I bought the Modern Folk Embroidery 2021 sale. What's it called? Fruit for all every season, or I'll get there eventually, won't I? So I'll show that because it's one of my new starts. That's the only thing I've bought, apart from a handful of DMC, which is not that exciting. If you know what DMC looks like. Yeah, so I'm going to crack on. I'm going to start with some new starts for the last 2 weeks, because I did start something before Christmas, and there might be a little bit of choppy editing, well there usually is, but as I put things on and off the board, I'm just going to cut that out, because otherwise it's going to add like 20 minutes of me faffing around. So to start with, I need to get a new, I don't have a bag for this. I have more projects than bags, which was one of my rules I've now broken. So I started Sunrise, just the large one, from Carolyn Manning Designs. It's one of her Shooting Star collections. Just with all the called for DMC. I think there's one colour on here actually I need to get, and I haven't got it yet. I should have got it with the sale, but I didn't. Oh well. Let's talk through that. So pretty. And that card has the details on it. So I am stitching this on 20 count Ada Soleil from Tom and Lily Creations, the French dyer, and they have an Etsy shop, Tom and Lily. And I also subscribe to their newsletter, which has French and English, and every link in it has a French and English link. The person, she does, she has a floss, she's like a dyed floss club, and it's beautiful. If money was no object, I would sign up for it, but money is an object, so not this year. But it looks really lovely, so you should check it out. And this is the start I got done before Christmas. So I know that it's full coverage. I wanted to stitch it on, I wanted to try 20 count Ada, which is not as easy to get as other counts. I also wanted to not have white show through, and I imagined framing this with a little bit showing, because I think the fabric's really beautiful, and it smells amazing. It smells kind of lemony, and I just ironed it. You can't really tell I ironed it, but I did. And the lemon comes off, and it's beautiful. So it's so nice to stitch. So much easier and quicker to stitch these on 20 count Ada as it was 1/1 on 28 count Brittany, because you know. But I'm really happy with that. A nice little start. That is start before Christmas. Okay, next up in my mermaid bag that Judith made. I bought from Judith, and I love this bag so much. And I got the little crown charm. This is where I'm keeping my Save the Stitches. So I've been talking about this for a long time, and keep putting off starting. It's going to start in October, and I was going to start it anyway. I decided this was my January 1st start, given that other things I've signed up for, while they may start on, like the Modern Folk Embroidery, might start on the 1st, but in New Zealand the chart came out on the 2nd or late on the 1st, because you know, time zones. So I decided this was my first. So I'm doing it from kind of the called for. So I've got my little card in the pocket. So I'm stitching it on 28 count antique white Lugana. I'm using DMC Pearl number 12 and DMC 310. So the pearls for the crosses, and the 310 single strand, the 310 is for the black work, and then the DMC diamond metallic. I'm using gold, pewter and copper. And then I'm using Mill Hill beads, which I've swapped out. I think the chart called for silver. I've swapped that out for kind of a pewterish colour. And I started on the 1st of January. And it's free sale on her website. So that's Liz Armand from Blackwork Journey is her website. So on Saturday, while I was, so here's all my little bag of tricks. And for people who curse the diamond thread, it's fine. It's like stitching with Krenak Japan thread. I don't mind it at all. It untwists, but metallic's just a bitch anyway. So, and I finished the first part. So it's released in 24 parts. So I've finished part number 1, and you're probably not going to see the metallic. Most of the, all of these sections have partial metallic. So this one, the gold's through that line, and here it's pewter through here, and this one's got copper through that line, and this one's got just little flicks of gold through this half. I added the beads as I went. I stitched them on with black thread, which I don't know. Yeah, I think it's fine actually, because all of the beads are solid that I've got. They're not clear glass. Now I know that I got the first section done. It went quicker than I thought. It did take quite a while though, but I think I might. If I did one section a month, that's 2 years. I'm not really sure about that. We'll see. I'm not sure whether I might. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have the luxury at the moment of being on leave, so I can do way more binge stitching than I normally would. So we'll see. This is definitely going to take a long time. I expect this one might be an exception to my I like to finish everything in 2 years. in 1 year thing. So yeah, that's fine. Okay, so. In my orange, most of these bags are made myself. I'll say I've only got 2 bags made by Judith. Other than that, mostly I made them. My orange bag, I've got 2 projects because I've run out of bags. Here's the Modern Folk Embroidery 2021 sale. Oh, the Fruit of Plenty. That's what it is, not the fruit for all seasons. So I decided that I loved the fact that it's two-toned, all this Assisi stitch. When I woke up yesterday, it had been released. The email had come through. I'm gonna have so much stuff to put away, but that's all code. I went through my stash, apart from buying, for fabric I mean. So I'm stitching it on 40 count toy linen from Country Stitch. This is a piece that I just had from the Rainbow Club, there. And it's a lovely warm cream. And I decided to go with the DMC 919 and 922. Yes, the orange. Yes, do I have a lot of orange? I love orange. Orange is my jam. If you don't like orange, this is the wrong FLOSSTUBE to watch. Started this for me 2nd of January. So yesterday I picked this up. And so yeah, here's a little bag of floss that I went and bought for $1.22 a skein. So I bought plenty. I probably got way too much because I'm quite frugal. And I got this much done. That's during watching Vikings. So I carried on this flower down here, even though that's the next page, because I knew that based on the picture that was going to be that this whole bit's a full triangle. It's a full flower, and I just have the center. That center bowl of berries. Whoop whoop, more orange berries to do. Very happy with my colours. This is a little creamer that it's shown on my screen. Oh, there you go, it's better. I am very happy. Got plenty of room for like close to a 4-inch border. And so it's a fat quarter on 40 count. And I am very happy with it. So yeah, that's how much I got done. I stopped at that point. I decided to have a break from it. I actually hadn't finished Vikings. So I probably had 2 episodes to go. So I watched most of that. Yeah, I had 2 episodes to go. So that is my 3rd new start of late, and I'm happy with it. So I'm going to now carry on with Whip Parade but some of these I've worked on the last couple of weeks. I picked up, once I'd finished that on the Modern Folk embroidery piece, I decided, well, I have to put this in a bag, it might as well go in with the other orange whip that I have, more prominently reddy orange, and so my Ink Circles Blackstone Fantasy Garden that I bought the chart second hand, the threads are Kerry's Creations, which aren't available anymore. So I'm doing a complete conversion and nothing like the original. So I picked it up and I got all of the interior of this second brown border. There's one more to go which has flourishes and big square. But I pretty much need still a skein of this floss, and I've run out, I've got 16 on order. So, but I got that done. So that again, the rest of Vikings, and then I watched a couple of other things on YouTube, a couple of odd episodes of things, bit of a late night, but I got that done. So yeah, I stitched a lot yesterday. Happy with how that's coming on. I've sort of started planning my, sorry about the dogs barking if you can hear it. Is that one or two? Two. I don't know what's going on. And I've started planning the black work. I think I'm going to use all various DMC variations, and I'm going to stick with DMC on it, I think. So the whole thing will be a DMC, but embracing all their variegated threads and stuff. So this is on 28 count Lugana linen, limestone by Country Stitch, and using my own threads. Started this on at Retreat, 31st of October, and I'm just making a little progress on it. Okay, next whip that I worked on a little bit at Dad's, and then when I got home on New Year's Eve I did a little bit of stitching, and then a bit this morning, got up early this morning and felt like finishing a motif. Is my Quaker Seasons of Friendship from Crown and Thistle, the design team at Dying to Stitch. So if you want this chart, either wait till I'm finished it and I'll probably give it away. And by the way, I expect to finish this in the next couple of weeks. But or you can contact Dying to Stitch. Phone number, nope, but yeah, you can contact them. So this is using palette inspired by Stitch Palettes, Red Blossoms, and with this the top colour is kind of the fabric, is represented by the fabric, all DMC, and the bottom one I'm using Black Soot from Gentle Arts instead of the 3799. And this, for people who haven't listened or care, 40 count fog linen, again from Country Stitch. Started this on the 18th of January on my birthday. My intention is to finish this before my birthday. So I've got 15 days. No worries, it'll be fine, because I've got quite a bit of leave still. And stitching on whips doesn't cost any money. So when I showed this last week, it's getting harder as they get bigger. I was partway through this motif, I believe. So I finished off the orange one and did the black one. That was to make sure that I lined up, since I've got counting errors across. Then I worked my way across and I got this one done. She's a big mofo, and I got that one done, and I did the black one and these little sprinkly bits. So basically this bit is mostly new since, you know. So I don't actually have that much to do. I've got two big motifs on the top, a red one, this one will be red, that'll be black, then what, half a dozen, and then lots of little sprinkly bits, and but then yeah, she'll be done. And then I'm not sure about personalising it. It's originally supposed to have initials of friends. The idea is Quaker Seasons of Friendship is that you put initials of friends in each season that their birthday is. The thing is that you have to leave motifs out to do that, and I didn't. I stitched the motifs. I'm probably going to put my family's initials in. So my parents and my stepmom and my sister and my stepbrothers, and I think that's, and then I might put my nieces and nephews. Not sure. I might just keep what I consider my immediate extended family, because then otherwise you then go, do I do sisters-in-law, brothers-in-law? What about when they've been married and divorced? I think I might just do what I consider my immediate family, which is my parents, my sister, my stepbrothers. Okay, another whip I worked on before Christmas while I was on leave, had a few days off on leave, was I just picked up my Fractal 95 bookmark from Cross Stitch Collectibles. I checked yesterday and they hadn't updated, they still had the December freebie. So this was a freebie bookmark at the time when I saved it. They do a freebie bookmark, which is a section of one of their mandala full coverage fractal pieces. Not mandala, they're fractal pieces. And every month they do a freebie of bookmark, which, yeah. I've done one of these. I did the fractal something, doesn't matter. I forgot what I was going to say. It's going to be amazing though. Bear with. Oh, there's a little, what's that? It's a weird, different, it's a bird that I don't know what it is. It's not a sparrow. It's over in the grass. Interesting looking bird. Interesting looking bird in my, well, let's call it garden, backyard. So, yeah, they hadn't, as of yesterday, which was the 2nd here, they hadn't updated their website. I should check it to see what they've got. I don't save all of them, because you can just save them and never stitch them, right? But, yeah, Anyway, that's what it looks like finished. My floss. I picked this up. I got a bit stuck on this last time. It's got these big balls are really quick to stitch, and the black fill-in's really quick to stitch, but the confetti is true confetti. It's like 1 stitch here. That's it. Another stitch 20 stitches away. So I was in the mood for it, and I got a whole lot of fill-in done. So the first 20 rows are fully done, and there's still a little bit. So basically wherever I'm picking the lowest colour that's empty, and then stitching wherever I find it, either until the thread runs out or until I can't find it anymore in this section. I basically have the whole chart pasted together, which is 6 pages, so it's 3 full pages and then 3 partial, that much kind of thing. So I'm on, this is the first, that's the third of it, and so I'm nearly done with the third. I just have quite a bit of fill in. So for some reason I was in the mood for confetti that week, and I was just like a gangster, like whoosh. Whereas the previous time I picked it up, I was just like, I'm not in the mood for swapping thread. But I just was in the mood. Like, you just gotta be in the mood to confetti, and sometimes you are. But the confetti looks amazing. It's so bright, and I don't know, it's so cool. So I'm looking forward to making more progress on that. It's on 18 count, I think, antique white Ada, all 4 colours. I started it, full nose. I've lost the card. Oh yeah, because that's what I'm sharing a card with the previous finish. Pretty sure I started this around March of last year. Yeah, I'm probably not going to finish this by March. It would require quite a bit of effort. We will see. Right, the final whip before Christmas was I picked up my Peppermint Purple Turkish Tiles Black Work piece. This was a sale, but a paid sale, and the last 2 patterns dropped before Christmas, and I only started this on the 23rd of November. It's on 28 count Lugana. I don't know the colour, it's just a neutral, and I'm using DMC, changed the colour slightly, DMC 3750, 3752 and 922. And I picked it up and I did one more tile, so this one down here. And I am loving this piece, it's fun. I just, I don't know what I was going to say. I just just going to keep plodding away at it really. So I'm going to carry on now with the rest of my whips, and there's only 3 that I haven't stitched on the last 2 weeks. First up, Hoishi Toishi from Long Dog Surplus. I had taken this away with me, but I just didn't have time to stitch while I was away at Dad's. And I'm doing this with on 36 count Fijoa linen from Country Stitch using a partial conversion. After which I've changed a few times. So the black is Silks for You PR070, gifted to me by Barb, and the rest of it is DMC, and just most of the colours have ended up being what are the conversion colours from this overdyes, and then a few other little changes. But I don't think since you last saw it, but it is pretty spectacular. So, and this one's getting harder and harder to show because it's just a big piece of fabric. Where's my card? And it's Arcade by Long Dog Sampler, so yeah, which I again haven't stitched on for a couple of weeks. On 36, I always drop this one because I hold this bit of paper and it's not glued down. 36 count Geyser from Country Stitch and linen, so Silks for You PR137 and DMC 500, Quenic, I can never read that one, 085, yep, BF, blending filament. Started this 5th of September, plugging away at it, and I do love it, and it's pretty fancy. This is one where I have no idea what will go in my house because the colour is quite out there. So that's where it was you last saw it. I haven't stitched on it, but it's going to get harder and harder to show as it gets bigger and bigger. And last up, one of my whips is this kind of mystery red sampler design that probably was a legal copy off the internet that I'm stitching at the moment on 55-ish count. It's more like 56 by 60 count linen that Judith gave me, and I'm stitching it with just embroidery cotton, sewing cotton, Gutermann cotton, and I haven't done anything since you last saw it, and I'm going to probably grunge this up when it's done because it's a bit white for me, so I'll probably put it through a wee bath of tea or something. I don't want it like super grungy, but just don't want this bright white. But I'll finish it because God forbid it gets any smaller. Shrinks more, makes them. So that is my last whip. I'm pretty sure that's my last whip. I might have something somewhere random that I don't know what it is, but I don't know. So that is my last whip. Okay, so some plans. I'm very loose with the old plans. Within reason, I just stitch on what I want to stitch on, right? I stitch enough that I'm not worried. Like none of these go, oh my God, what did I do? Other than I've got some nice big starts just come. So what's next? So I think I mentioned the other day, the other week, that I want to start I'm going to do the Peppermint Purple 2021 sale. I was going to do the rectangle, similar to last year, except because that's the bit of fabric that I had, but because there was a sale on at Spotlight over New Year's, they had 30% off, I did pick up a fat quarter or whatever their pre-cut of 18 count antique white. I stopped in Rotorua after I had brunch with Tan, and because of that I have a squarish piece. So I decided to do the squarish one. So the colour, whatever layout and border dropped the other day. So I decided I might do the square. I also like did I print it? Might be on the printer now. I also like, so there's a couple of different border options as well that are freebie with it. One is just a straight, there's a couple of, I guess, square borders, and then there's one that is a fill-in, and then one, of course you can do the square and the fill-in. I think I'll do the square and the fill-in, but I'm not going to pre-stitch that necessarily. I'm going to start with the colour blocks. I might stitch this more as they release rather than waiting for it, because it's not like a whole row, because the rectangular blocks are kind of in a brick pattern, sort of. I'm guessing that's the first one's going to come out, and then it'll go like, yeah, I don't know, like first week, second week, third week, fourth week, fifth week, I guess. I may just stitch it as they come. We'll see. This will be like one of those half-hour jobbies every week. Doesn't quite fit in this bag, but I got all the. I'm just doing a called for. I don't need to be rogue with these. I think it looks really pretty. That's pretty much. You don't need that much floss for these. So my card is. I pulled all the colours off, and I think it looks nice. So I just make up my own random floss cards, and then I've got some black that's from off of the cone. I do probably need a bigger bag because I've got two projects in here. I've got the little dodgy sampler and this. So we're at that stage in my stitching career where I have to double up on things. Right. What else is happening? So that's going to start, when does that come out? The 6th or the 7th? So it'll be the 7th in New Zealand. Come out on Wednesday, but Thursday here. So I'll whip that up on Thursday, it'll be no trouble. Then I'll see you before, but then I do have my birthday starts on the 18th. So, which is this is going to need a bag. I don't want it in this bag. This bag's empty, so something else is going to have to shift in here. This needs a nicer bag than this one. Like, this is nice, except it doesn't go. It's a map. It doesn't matter. Okay, it's going to go in here. So, I've got, my red deer sampler by GGR. And this is going to be a 99.5% conversion. I'm going to be stitching it on 36 count pumice, Edinburgh from Country Stitch, and I'm using my own conversion, mostly using Victoria Moto Sampler Shop threads. I did not have, so here's the fabric, which is, so the called for is Confederate grey, but here is my fabric, and do I use that side or that side? So I think I never know which is the front or the back. I should ask. So this side has lots of splotches. I think I might use the splotchy side, but I think it's really lovely. I love 36 count. I love one strand over 36. I know some people don't like the coverage, but I do. And I've got my conversion, which when I know it works, I'll let people know. But it's mostly Victorian Motto, so unless you were a subscriber, then you can't get it. I've got my chart or my working copy. I'm just transferring, and I have all my. I have all my colours. I should show that with the fabric, shouldn't I? Which some of them might change. It's going to be quite different in that I can't remember which one. I'm not doing Piney Woods. That was the one I struggled the most with finding a colour. I'm going to use Tree Moss, which is pretty random. It's not as dark, but I kind of like it. So I'm going to use Tree Moss instead of the Piney Woods. It's definitely greener and less brown. That's not a bad thing. But I think that it's going to look fantastic because these are beautiful colours and it's beautiful fabric and it's a cool chart. So yeah, so I'm gonna I'll whip through them because why not? So instead of Piney Woods, I'm gonna use Tree Moss. Instead of Deep Forest, I'm using the silk that I've had from Barb, Silks for You PR 111, because it just was the nicest green that I could find. Okay, this one is a bit of DMC 934 was the called for black avocado green. No sub for that. That was pretty much what it was called for. Oh, these aren't even an orderly. Ah, freaking what's it? Doesn't matter. So this is, instead of roasted marshmallow, I'm using autumn weave. I think this one might be called for. Oh, instead of toffee, I'm using Gentle Art Grecian Gold. Instead of cider mill brown, I'm using Harvesting Basket. This one is actually called for Gentle Art Tarnished Gold, so I had that one. Apple cider, instead of apple cider, I'm using Hearth and Home. Instead of Picnic Basket, I'm using Americana Brown. Instead of Lamb's Wool, I'm using Shaded Tan. Instead of Summer Meadow, I'm using Fall Arrival. Instead of Old Brick, I'm using Pilgrim Squash, which I love that colour, so I'm so happy. Instead of Hollyberry, I'm using Dark Cherry. And for the actual proper deer colour, instead of Schoolhouse Red, I'm using Holiday Red. Instead of Raven, I'm going to use Gentle Arts Wrought Iron, because I bought that for a project that I then got rid of the chart. And for Garden Gate, I'm going to use Carriage Black. Again, because I had it. Instead of Old Purple Paint, I'm using Wild Berry Medley. Instead of Lavender Potpourri, I'm using Lavender Harvest. Instead of Old Blue Paint, I'm using Fog. This one's probably quite different to what's called for, but it's okay. Similar with this one, I think this one's quite different, but again, it's fine. This one is, instead of Peacock, I'm using Prim Cupboard, but I love the colour, so it's going to be excellent. Instead of Black Raspberry Jam, I'm using Blue Sampler. And instead of, where's the star? Why can't I find this? Oh, instead of Lexington Green, I'm using Rock Moss. And then this one didn't need a heck of a lot in the chart. I couldn't, so instead of Bayberry, I'm using DMC 501. Now, if something else turns up in the meantime, I'll swap that out, but that's what I'm using for now. So yeah, that is just, I think they're quite luscious, and I'm really looking forward to it. So that is going to be my birthday start. And it's going to be fantastic. And I think it's even going to look better than the picture, because pictures are shit, so. Usually the pictures are terrible. Okay, it's in a bag now for that. So that's going to be a new start on the 18th of January, and I've got that week off. It's my birthday week, so I'll probably stitch quite a bit of that. So what other plans do I have? What else have I got kitted up, or partially kitted up? Now I've got a bit of an order in with Judith. No, a bit of an order in with Catherine to get some DMC and some special threads and stuff. I've gone through and partially kitted stuff up or picked colour palettes, but other things that will get started this year. Well, I'm still waiting for, I possibly will start Life After Death. I'll have to finish one of the other long dogs before I do, so that I've just got antique white, 36 count, and Silks for You. Can't remember what number it is, it's written down somewhere. I'm just waiting for a Krenak to come in. It's waiting for, so that, yeah, but I need to finish, like I need to finish Arcade or something before I start that. I've also got Sunset kitted up, which is the companion piece to Sunrise. No shit. This is ready to start when I finish Sunrise, and I've got, again, 20 count from Tom and Lily, and this one is in the colourway Coral. I'm trying to think, do I pronounce the L? No, Coral, from yeah, and that's all ready to go with all the pretty colours. I mean, oh, delicious colours. So that is going to, but that will wait. That's all kitted up. That's waiting for Sunrise to be finished. I think I forgot to show this after retreat. I picked this up off the retreat table, but it was in the back of the car and I'd forgotten about it. And there's quite a few in here I want to stitch. So Oriental Odyssey, and I've decided I'm going to stitch. So I've got a copy of the chart. So what's her name? And I've got her in my Japanese fabric bag. I got this from my sister-in-law Kazumi, or ex-sister-in-law, and she is Oriental Lady Grace. I'm not doing her on that fabric. I'm doing her on, this is me like going real out of 32 count Belfast from Country Stitch in the colour Taupo, and we got a sample of this at retreat and I was just like, oh yeah. So I cut her out just to see what it would look like, and I think it'll look fantastic on that. So yeah, I auditioned these three ladies, there's Grace, Wisdom and Beauty, and I auditioned all three of them and I'm like, okay, I think this one's going to work. So I'm just waiting for some DMC because some of the colours need 2 or 3 skeins, so I've put in an order. But I have mostly got her kitted up except for the skeins where I need extra skeins, and I just put like 1 strand on there because I'm waiting for the strand and then DMC. So she is ready to go, apart from the fact that I don't have the floss for the skeins that require more than 1 skein. So that will be started sometime, I don't know when, later in the year. Other things that are in the waiting, things that I'm kitting up, that I've picked fabric for basically, and I'm just waiting for some floss to come in. I am going, sometime this year I want to start Emily's house. I've had this for ages, and I picked out of my stash. Again, I've been waiting for that Victorian motto, because I was waiting for that Victorian motto, those 4 months worth of stuff, because I didn't want to kit anything up or buy fabric until I knew what I had. So I'm going to stitch this on Victorian motto, 36 count parchment, and I think I've ordered most of the called for fancy floss, so from Catherine, so that'll be, I think it's going to be pretty good. At the moment I've got all these kind of kitting up things in this bag by Judith, cat bag, meow, and I have in the little pocket I've just got typed up all of the what I needed for it and where I done. So these are my subs, so this is the called for I need and the substitutions that I need. So, and I've written it, like for example on Emily's house I've got 3 substitutions. So instead of Breadthrough and Blue I'm going to use Victorian Motto Prim Cupboard. Instead of Cherry Bark I'm going to use Americana Berry, and instead of Picnic Basket I'm using Americana Brown. So, and I ticked it where I have it, and then I've got boxes where I don't have it. So that is, yeah, so that's just because otherwise I'll forget, right? I've also got Away We Ride from Blackbird Designs, and I am doing a partial conversion with that, and I'm going to stitch it on, was a monthly Rainbow Club from Country Stitch. I'm going to stitch that on 36 count tussock. It's probably, I mean, it looks a good match for the photo, but it is really pretty, and it's got some nice sort of subtle variegation in it, which I like. So I've ordered the blacks. I think it's the blacks I've ordered that are in the border, and quite a lot of it. And the berries will be slightly different because I don't like the way that light pink and they're going to be quite different. So the two colours that make up the berries will be quite different. So that is that one. These two for Gentleman's Daughter and Miss Bingley's Library. I think that I'm doing Miss Bingley's Library is going to be on Victorian Motto Sand. It's a little browner than what's called for, but I just want a bit more colour. I think this was stitched on Liberty Gathering Grey from R&R, but it's probably a little beigeier, but it'll be cool. So that's what that's going to be on, and I'm going to stitch A Gentleman's Daughter on Victorian Motto Neutral Sampler. It was called for was Nantucket Brew. No idea what that looks like because I can't get R&R stuff. So that's going to be on that. So the beigey house should stand out okay. Again, I've ordered some of the floss, mostly where it really, really matters. If you need like 2 skeins for the colours of the houses, I think I've ordered, but I'll be subbing out. If it needs a little bit of skin, I'm subbing. I'm not buying a skein for skin when it's got like 12 stitches. So those are things that are planned for this year as well. Quite a lot, eh? So thanks for coming along on this ride with me. I've got quite a bit of stitching to look forward to. I'm really, really looking forward to finally starting that Red Deer sampler. I'm sure that once I'm on like flower number 93, I'll be like, well, probably flower number 3, I'll be like, But they're all different. They're different colours. They're not repeated. So that's, even though the shape is largely the same, and I'm not sure I'm going to personalise it. I won't be writing that lady's name or whatever their word is that's along the bottom, but I want to keep the stitching in that style. So I'll have to see whether I can chart my name, whether that'll fit, and some fancy lettering that goes across. So I don't know. That will be the last thing I stitch, so it won't really matter for like a really long time because it is quite big, and yeah, I stitch fast, but I've got a lot to stitch, but it's pretty cool. My stand is working out great. I'm so happy that I bought it. It's a great $19, and I'll be able to move around the house a little more now because I can sit in other places, but I just needed the table today because I know it's not the most exciting backdrop, but maybe I'll move around a little bit. And yeah, that's it. Okay, so Happy New Year to everybody. Keep safe, everybody. Enjoy your stitching. May 2021 bring you joy, and that's all I got. Ciao. Don't let your needles rust.